Torre and the Yankees ready to take on Bobby Jones. One thing that we want to point out to our audience tonight prior to the start of this game 4 is something that took place here on the field moments before Sheryl Crow did such a great job with our national anthem, and that was Major League Baseball, these fans, and I'm sure this country, joining in a salute the 5 members of the United States Navy who sustained injuries during the attack on the USS Cole on October 12th. They were honored here before the game, which 17 sailors lost their lives during that tragedy. We send our thoughts and our prayers to the families of those who were injured, those who lost their lives. Nice move on the part of Major League Baseball to bring those 5 members of the United States Navy here for their salute. This broadcast also available in Spanish by utilizing the SAP button on your television. Glad you're with us. Derek Jeter ready to go. So's Bobby Jones. Well hit into left field. Back at the track at the wall. The first pitch of the night is gone. Derek Jeter starts it with a bang.
Right after the Rockets' red glare, another Rockets' red glare. First pitch, inside fastball. Boom. Derek Jeter with 15 home runs on the regular season. On one pitch, puts the Yankees ahead.
A strike over the outside corner to Luis Sojo. Two guys not in the lineup. Knobloch, the typical leadoff hitter for the Yankees, and he enjoyed it every bit as much as the rest of the Yankee dugout. Derek Jeter gets his 3rd home run of this postseason, his 1st of this World Series. The 16th leadoff home run series history. 0-2 the count on Sojo with Justice and Bernie Williams to follow. Sojo stays alive. So now you're talking about Derek Jeter, who has reached base in 55 of 60 career postseason games. He scored a run in 17 of 18 World Series games in which he has participated. And with one swing, the first pitch has put the Yankees out in front here in game 4. The 0-2 to Sojo. Breaking ball chopped to third. Ventura, time to wait, high throw, but out. One away.
Derek Jeter led off 21 times this year, and this is his first leadoff home run of the year, normally the number 2 hitter. And Joe Torre telling us yesterday one of the reasons that he started Jose Vizcaíno in the number 1 hole at second base was to allow Derek Jeter to continue to bat second. I think Joe's glad he let him off tonight.
So 1 out, bases empty, and here's David Justice. Justice last night made the final out when he popped up to the right side. Caught by Alfonso. Benitez had done his job. The Mets had accomplished what they wanted to in game 3, getting a victory and getting on the board in this series. Ball 1 to Justice. An 11-game winner. Tim mentioned the stint down at AAA for Bobby Jones. There's another stat for you. 13-game World Series hitting streak for Derek Jeter. 1 ball, 1 strike on Justice. Bobby Jones 0-2 this year against the Yankees, 0-3 lifetime. Into right field. Change up. 2 out.
Just enough to get David Justice out in front. Body went forward, the hands went with it, and that strips a power hitter of his power.
So now 2 out. And the batter will be Bernie Williams. during the season for Bobby Jones after his first loss to the Yankees at Yankee Stadium. That was his final start before he elected to go back to AAA. He wanted to go down there and get things straightened out. He was 1-3 at that time. The Yankees pounded on him. A 13-5 loss, and he couldn't get through 5 innings. Sent down, 2 starts down at AAA, and he was 10-3 the rest of the regular season. One terrific start this postseason and one poor start. Dave Wallace, the pitching coach, watching as ball 1 drops low and away, a ball and a strike.
Best start of his life on October 8th against the San Francisco Giants.
Not a good start to the regular season. 1-3 his first 8 starts with an ERA over 10. Back to AAA, and his last 19 starts was 10-3. Into left center field. Payton going to get it, and the Yankees are finished in the first. The last time a player led off a World Series game, Rickey Henderson back in 1989. Until that blast from Jeter. 1/2 inning, game 4, 1-0 Yankees. Denny Neagle has made 1 World Series start against the Yankees in '96. Now he makes 1 for them in the starting lineup for the New York Mets. Brought to you by Coors Light. Timo Perez and Edgardo Alfonzo, Mike Piazza with Todd Zeile, one of the heroes last night. Ventura and Adbayani the other, batting 6th. Jay Payton, Mike Bordick, and Bobby Jones pitching and batting 9th. Denny Neagle, during the regular season, 7-7 with the Yankees, 8-2 with Cincinnati prior to his trade to New York. A free agent to be. Won his first 2 starts with the Yankees. Went through a stretch where he lost 4 straight decisions. Lost his last 3 starts of the regular season and was pounded in his last start at the end of September. An 11-1 loss at Tampa Bay. There are the numbers while they wore the pinstripes.
Joe Torre telling us tonight that the one thing that he and Billy Connors, the pitching coach, will pay close attention to is the arm angle of Denny Neagle. In order to make the ball go down, his arm's got to be up.
Perez, a late swing and strikeout to start the bottom of the first. Timo Perez now 1 out of 14 in this World Series.
That was our point right there. The ball, in order for it to go down, the arm's got to stay up. Sounds right, doesn't it? Must guard against overuse of the changeup. He'll use the change only to right-handed batters. Must pitch inside to right-handers to keep them from lunging out of the outside part of the plate.
You asking me or are you telling me?
I was just kind of asking the audience. It does make sense, doesn't it?
Absolutely. 1 out, nobody on, and a ball down and into Edgardo Alfonzo, who is struggling in this World Series. 2 out of 13.
The whole philosophy behind that is if you drop your arm down, you push the ball. If you're on top of the ball, you throw the ball, and that's what pitchers are supposed to do. Throw it, not guide it.
2-0 on Alfonzo.
Here it is right here. He had extra pop on those fastballs to Perez. You can see that arm angle right there on top of the ball. That's what, more often than not, that's what all pitching coaches preach, to stay on top of the ball. Billy Connors no exception.
The count's gone to 3-0 on Alfonzo with Piazza next. Yankees on top by a run. There's a strike. 3-1. Edgardo Alfonzo, 25 home runs during the regular season. That's out of play, full count. This game and all games during the World Series being shown on a big screen in downtown Caracas. Edgardo Alfonzo, one of the heroes of Venezuela. They get 2 for the price of 1 tonight as Luis Sojo's in the lineup for the Yankees. 3 balls, 2 strikes, and a 1-out walk. Piazza, who's 3 out of 13 in this World Series, including a home run back in the 9th inning of Game 2.
To be grammatically proper, that banner should have read my ulcer and I.
I was going to say something, but I just let it slide. 1 on, 1 out. Strike 1.
Mike Piazza appeared to be looking for the fastball. He got it and swung through it.
Third start of this postseason for Denny Neagle. That's crushed down the line, hooking foul. 0-2.
After the fastball, the changeup. Piazza just out in front. Hit a ton, but foul.
A .370 career average for Piazza in this head-to-head matchup. No balls, 2 strikes, 1 on, 1 out. Ball 1.
That's what we were talking about, coming inside to the right-handed batters to keep them from lunging out for the changeup. Posada sets up inside. Not all pitches are designed to get hitters out. Some pitches are designed to get them out later.
Late swing and a miss, 2 gone. 2 strikeouts here in the first inning for Denny Neagle.
Blows the fastball by him, and then the changeup, a scare. That pitch set up this pitch.
So a runner at first, 2 out. And a hero from last night's game, Todd Zeile, stands in. Zeile an RBI to tie the game in the 6th inning, an RBI double. A 1-out single in the 8th and scored the go-ahead run on the double by Agbayani. Strike 1. Zeile overall this postseason over 300, 304 in this World Series, 6 out of 13. That's foul. And it's 0-2. You would figure with this pitching matchup of Bobby Jones and Denny Neagle that you would have a little more offense than we've seen in the first 3 games.
Yeah, you would normally. That's the case in World Series play, because in the 4th game you're either getting the 4th starter or the #1 starter with 3 days rest.
1 ball, 2 strikes. But these are veterans. Bobby Jones, the right-hander, won 11 games during the regular season. Denny Neagle, a guy who, combining his numbers with the Yankees in Cincinnati, won 15 games. And a guy with postseason experience while with Atlanta. 1 and 2 strikes on Zeile. Easy for Jeter to his left. Tricky hop. The inning is over. A force-out 6-4. 1 inning complete in Game 4. A leadoff home run by Jeter for the Yankees, and they lead by 1. Bobby Jones, the numbers in this postseason for him, a record of 1-0, ERA of 4.15, makes his 3rd start. He takes on Tino Martinez here in the 2nd inning. 1-0 the Yankees lead. And ball 1. Tino Martinez, 6 out of 14 in the World Series, huge numbers in the postseason, making everybody forget what he did during the regular season. A ball and a strike. Martinez, then O'Neill, then Posada for the Yankees in the 2nd. On the inside corner, strike 2. Jones, no strikeouts yet. That's popped foul back toward the dugout and out of play. Bob Brenly.
Yeah, Joe, when a hitter has good success against a pitcher in his career, he's said to own that guy. Well, Tino Martinez has the pink slip on Bobby Jones. 6 for 8 with 2 home runs, 2 doubles, 6 RBIs. This is exactly where the Mets want Tino Martinez, either leading off an inning or at the plate with 2 outs and nobody on base.
Bobby Jones has him set up at a ball and 2 strikes. And puts him away. Strikeout number 1 and out number 1 here in the second.
Looks like a two-seam fastball that goes away from Tino Martinez after coming inside a couple of times. Just read the two seams, can't you?
Tino Martinez a shake of the head, and here's Paul O'Neill. Bob Brenly talked about Paul O'Neill, what he's done in this postseason, getting better and better with each round. Getting a chance to star here in the World Series, 7 out of 12 with 2 runs batted in. 1 out, nobody on, and that's ripped down into the right field corner. Another hit for O'Neill. Perez can't cut it off, and O'Neill's thinking about going to third. He'll try it. He'll make it as Perez missed the initial cutoff man. O'Neill at third with only 1 out.
Had Perez hit the first cutoff man, Edgardo Alfonzo, the Mets would have had a chance at O'Neill at third base. The ball, once it gets by Perez, O'Neill says, with 1 out, I'm taking a chance. None out, 2 outs, I'll stay at second. Perez's throw, as Joe said, misses Alfonzo, and O'Neill goes in standing up. Paul O'Neill did not have a triple during the regular season, and he has 2 in 2 games here at Shea Stadium.
Well, during August and September, O'Neill hit only .229. Only .231 during the Division Series and the American League Championship Series, and now in the World Series, .615. They're going to peel back at second to see if O'Neill hit the bag on his way by. He did, as Jerry Crawford gives the safe sign, and O'Neill's at third now officially with 1 out.
Paul O'Neill touching the bag, but you wonder who saw this, because the double cutoff was the second baseman and shortstop. So
I'm not so sure he hit the bag.
Oh, I thought he did. I thought he hit the inside part of the bag. It appeared, but the interesting thing is who called that? Did the bench call it? Because the shortstop and second baseman were out for the cutoff. They certainly didn't see it. Ventura had to stay at third. Zeal had to stay at first. So who called the appeal?
Well, Bobby Valentine trotted out there and talked to Bobby Jones about what they would do with Posada. The intentional walk is the answer there, and I'm sure as he went out there said something about checking and appealing back to second base. If O'Neill did hit second base, it was close.
Yeah, that's where you're supposed to touch it, either the right or left foot, depending on where the stride lands. Inside part of the bag. I guess from the bench, or from the Mets bench, you could see that it looked like he may have missed it. But the Yankees use a safety squeeze. Bob and I talked about it last night in situations just like this.
A step to third, a look to first. Brosius did not tip his hand at the plate if he was going to square around. He is hitting only .209 in this postseason. 2 out of 8 in the World Series. Big rip, strike 1. A 1-out triple by O'Neill. And then the intentional walk to Posada.
Guess we should explain the difference between a suicide squeeze and a safety squeeze. Suicide squeeze, the runner on third. As you look at the batting average of Scott Brosius, runner on third breaks immediately, and on a safety squeeze, he waits until the ball is put down with the bunt.
Runners at first and third, one out. That's inside, a ball and a strike. Denny Neagle waits to hit next. Yankees trying to add to their second inning lead. It's 1-0. Posada takes off at first, and that fly ball into right center field. O'Neill will tag and score, and going all the way back to first with 2 out now on a sac fly by Brocious is Posada, and it's 2-0 Yankees here in the second.
Little confusion in right center field. O'Neill scoring easily. The hit and run was on then. Bench is yelling, or those on the bench are yelling at Posada to get back to first. He got back easily.
Denny Neagle now with a runner at first, 2 out. Career 153 hitter, and he takes a strike.
There's Posada taking off. He didn't look back. And that's dangerous. You have to find out where the ball is. Otherwise, you rely on the shortstop and the second baseman. Posada did get back because of that confusion in right center.
Shortstop and second baseman don't always tell the truth.
No, they don't. Here's Scott Brocious trying to help Posada. Jorge. Get the rope out. There's Larry Mahan when you need him.
So Brocious delivers the RBI, his third RBI of this World Series, and now Denny Neagle is set up at 0-2. At the beginning of this World Series, there was some speculation that for Game 4, Joe Torre might go with the sentimental pick. Call on David Cone to start this game. He started with the Mets, but he goes with Neagle. And so far, Neagle and the Yankees lead 2-0 in the second. David Cone, the reason why Joe Torre would go with Cone, the numbers on the right. Career postseason numbers 8-3 with a good ERA, 4 World Series rings. The reason on the left, numbers on the left, the reason why Joe Torre went with Denny Neagle. A 4-14 record during the regular season. A little high, 2 balls, 2 strikes on Neagle. That's too far inside and a full count. That means that Posada will take off at first.
Excellent base running by Paul O'Neill. Obviously, if Paul O'Neill's on second instead of third, he doesn't score on that ball to right center by Brocious.
Runner goes, 3-2 pitch. You can see Denny Neagle gets a pretty good swing.
Denny has 3 major league home runs to his credit in his career. He didn't have any this year with Cincinnati.
Again, the 3-2. Neagle strikes out. Second strikeout of the inning in the game for Bobby Jones, with more damage. A 1-out triple by O'Neill, scored on a sac fly by Brocious. 2-0 Yankees in the second. We welcome you back to Shea Stadium. Bottom of the second inning. The Mets will come to the plate. Ventura, Agbayani, and Payton against Denny Neagle. I was just sitting here thinking during the break that Major League Baseball stadiums are a place where young and old come together and are forced to listen to the same music at blaring volumes. Music that most of the crowd would never listen to. And most get into it. Imagine some guy showing up on Wall Street tomorrow humming "Who Let the Dogs Out." 2-0 the Yankees lead, and the breaking ball's in for a strike. to Robin Ventura.
That's a remake of a Glenn Miller rendition back in the late 30s,
right.
isn't it?
That's right. Da -da -da -da, who let the dogs out? Da -da -da -da.
Or was it Dorsey?
One of the two. No balls, one strike. Had him played perfectly. Jeter. Little hop to his left, one out. And we'll bring in Benny Agbayani. Last night, 8th inning. Line drive into the gap in left center field all the way to the wall, and with plenty of help from his friends in the dugout, Zeal scored all the way from first. And that's for up 3-2 and 1 at 4-2. So Agbayani bats here, and in the postseason hitting .349. That's high, ball one.
We asked Joe Torre before the game the most impressive thing about Benny Agbayani. He said his fearlessness.
1 ball, 1 strike.
Not awed by the pressures of the postseason.
And to be honest, Bobby Valentine has always been the one in Benny Agbayani's corner.
He certainly has.
Starting with their time together at AAA in 1996, which is where Bobby Valentine was managing at the time, and Agbayani was about on his way out of this organization. Bobby Valentine had seen him the previous spring and said, why don't you start lifting that front leg? Get a little more pop when you swing the bat. He's always been a favorite of Valentine. And that favoritism has been rewarded with some big hits down the stretch and in this postseason.
It was Bobby's take on Benny that he was too big to be a gap hitter, that he could hit home runs by lifting that leg.
Full count.
And Benny Agbayani started hitting home runs over in Tokyo when the Mets and the Cubs opened this 2000 season over there at the Tokyo Dome. You may remember back on March 30th, Benny Agbayani with the game-winning grand slam home run, repaying Bobby Valentine's loyalty.
3-2 pitch is high, a 1-out walk. Let's go back to Tokyo, March 30th. A pinch hit grand slam, top of the 11th inning against Danny Young of the Chicago Cubs. The Mets won that game 5-1, and we've talked about it before. The only reason Agbayani was even available and a part of that series was because of a roster exemption. Major League Baseball let the Mets and Cubs carry extra players with them because they started the season early, and because of the travel over to Japan, they gave him 2 extra players, and Agbayani was there and available. Plan was for him to start the season at AAA. Here's Payton, and there's a little flare down the right field line. Slicing, and it's fair. Down to second is Agbayani. A floater base hit from Payton, and the first Mets hit of the night. A walk, a single, and the Mets have 2 on with 1 out.
That's inexperience on Agbayani's part. And Benny checked where O'Neill was standing and look at the line and look at and determine how hard the ball is hit. He should be on third base and would be on third base. Too passive right here. Bottom part of the order coming up. Take a chance. Benny didn't.
So now it's Bordick. Bordick turned in 2 good at-bats last night. His first 2 at-bats against El Duque. Fly to the track and left and single. Third at-bat, struck out with the bases loaded, 1 out in the 6th inning. An RBI chance here, and he takes high, ball 1. Tying runs on Agbayani at second, Payton at first with 1 out. Bordick only 4 of 31 with 0 runs batted in the postseason. And Nagel falls behind him 2-0. Bobby Jones, a light hitting pitcher, waits to bat next. Go Charlie Connors, the pitching coach for the Yankees, on your right, studying Nagel, who has to lay one into Bordick. 2-1. Yankees got a leadoff home run from Jeter in the first. A one-out triple by O'Neill, who scored on a sac fly by Brosius in the second. Two balls and a strike on Bordick. A pop-up behind second base. Infield fly rule in effect as Soho puts it away. 2 out. Bordick's struggles continue. And it's 2 on with 2 out for Bobby Jones.
Yeah, Mike going after a pitch out of the strike zone, and instead of it being 3-1 in a good situation to hit, he pops it up. That was a ball too high. You can see Mike struggling, getting the good part of the bat through the strike zone.
That's a frustrated hitter going after a pitch that he can't handle.
Especially when he's ahead in the count.
Bobby Jones now an .045 average during the regular season. How do you hit .045? You go 2 out of 44. 0 for 6 in the postseason this year. Runners at first and second, 2 out.
Every pitcher that starts a game longs to go either 0 for 3 or 0 for 4, because that means he's had 3 or 4 at bats, and if you have 3 or 4 at bats, you've gone deep into the game.
Strike 2. Jones had 4 at bats in that Game 4 start in the division series because of his one-hit shutout, the 4-0 victory to put the Mets in the National League Championship Series for the second straight year. Set up here at 0-2. 2 on, 2 out. Scooped up by Posada, ball 1. Yankees in the third will have the top of the order. Jeter, Soho, and Justice. Yankees parted with a number of good young players, 4 to be exact, to get Denny Nagel back in July from Cincinnati. Jones sticks the bat out, pops it up. Tino Martinez there. That'll do it for the Mets here in the second. A walk, a single, 2 left. Mets have stranded 3. 2-0 Yankees. Back after this from your local Fox station. Bobby Jones back to the mound. Bob Brenly is back in the good seats tonight at Shea Stadium, and he is standing by. Bob.
Well, thank you very much, Joe. Great seat for the ball game tonight. The guy sitting next to me isn't too crazy about the people sitting around him, but sitting right next to Alex Rodriguez as he watches his counterpart Derek Jeter move to the plate.
That'll be the hot topic over the offseason. Where will Alex Rodriguez end up? Back in Seattle? Will he come here to New York? Will it be Shea Rod, his best friend Derek Jeter, or one of his best friends? Everybody automatically says his best friend Derek Jeter. They're good friends. Is this city big enough for both of them? Jeter led off in the first inning with a home run. He takes a ball upstairs. I think we got to keep an eye on Brenly down there, Tim, and see if he's sweet talking A-Rod. Did the Diamondbacks need a shortstop? 2-0.
Well, whoever gets Alex Rodriguez is going to get what a lot of people consider the best player in the game. I think one of the things that makes him the best player of the game is he plays one of the most important defensive positions in the game. What a talent.
2 balls, no strikes. Jeter leading off, and he shoots one into right center field. Pretty well hit. Perez on the run, won't get there. A hop off the wall, and Jeter will cruise to third base. A leadoff triple for Derek Jeter to start the third.
Alex approves as Derek Jeter in the first 3 innings gets the first 2 hits, the toughest 2 hits of a cycle. He homered his first at bat and now triples. Fortunately for the Yankees and Jeter, the ball short hops the fence instead of going over the fence. It has enough hang time to allow Jeter to get to third. He had 4 triples during the regular season. And as you can see, he was his own base running coach.
Alex Rodriguez watching it. Stayed in play, and Jeter's at third. Now Soho up there swinging, strike 1. So the Yankees already lead 2-0. And Soho or Justice or Williams will have a chance to make it even sweeter. 2-1. The Yankees lead in this 2000 World Series, and they lead 2-0 here tonight.
Infield back right now. If they get another strike on Soho with the count 0-2, 1-2, then may bring the infield in.
Bobby Jones tonight greeted with a blast by Jeter in the first inning. Lyndon Rush is getting ready for the Mets out of their bullpen. 1 ball, 1 strike on Soho. Runner at third, nobody out. Strike 2 to the outside corner. A ball and 2 strikes.
Nice curveball from Bobby Jones at the knees on the corner. Infield for the Mets will break in with 2 strikes on the batter.
To the right side, a run scores. Jeter to the plate. RBI ground out by Soho, and it's 3-0 Yankees in the third.
That's one of those situations. We saw it last night where you bring the offside of the infield in, particularly with 2 strikes on Soho. Had it been in, well, then Derek Jeter doesn't try to score. In fact, Alfonso would probably have caught that ball in the air. But Bobby Valentine elects to play the infield back on the right side, and Jeter scores the 3rd run of the ball game.
So bases empty, 1 out. Now David Justice, who flied to right. A ball off the end of the bat his first time, takes ball 1. Justice only hitting .218 during the postseason, 3 home runs, including that big one in Game 6 of the American League Championship Series. Put the Yankees on top for good. 2-0. Derek Jeter now has played in 18 World Series games, and he has scored 18 runs. Two and 1. Bobby Jones from Fresno, California, Fresno High School, same high school that produced Tom Seaver. 25-game winner back in 1969 with the Miracle Mets. 3 balls and a strike on Justice.
Bobby met Tom Seaver when he pitched at Cooperstown in the Hall of Fame game, when the year that Tom Seaver was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 1993.
That was Bobby's first taste of big league baseball. He was an all-star back in '97, a 15-game winner. This year, with that strong second half, was an 11-game winner, 11-6. He's behind on the count to Justice, 3-1. To the right side for Zeal. 2 out. So Justice 0 for 2. And Bobby Jones will work to Bernie Williams. The New York Yankees, world champions in 1996. World champions in 1998, 1999, and yet here is their cleanup hitter in Bernie Williams. He was 0 for 1 tonight. 0 for his last 19 in World Series play. And in now 18 games played in the World Series is hitting less than 125.
I think Bernie is taking too many first pitches, as you saw Brian Cashman, the GM of the Yankees. Bernie has been to the plate 16 times in this World Series, and he's taken the first pitch for a strike 8 times. Usually Bernie's much more aggressive than that.
1 ball, no strikes. Now 2-0. Williams coming off a career year production wise with 30 home runs, 121 RBIs. Tino Martinez, who is red hot, waits on deck. Jones allowed a run in the first, a run in the second, 1 here in the 3rd inning, and the 2-0 pitch. 2 balls and a strike.
Bernie missing the 2-0 fastball. Generally speaking, when pitchers are behind, they will work hitters away. You're behind in the count. It's not a good time to come inside.
That's out of play. And the count 2-2. Top of the order for the Mets in the bottom of this 3rd inning, and they will be at least 3 runs down. The 2-2 to Williams. Popped into shallow center. Payton puts it away. Williams and the Yankees finished in the 3rd so far. The Derek Jeter Show. A home run back in the 1st. A leadoff triple and a run scored here in the 3rd. Bottom of the 3rd. Top of the order for the Mets. They trail the Yankees by 3. First pitch of the bottom of the 3rd is a breaking ball in for strike 1 to Timo Perez, who struck out in the 1st inning, 1 out of 14 in the World Series after hitting a combined 300 in the LCS and the division series. Chasing that pitch, it's 0-2. On deck is Alfonso and then Piazza. 3-0 the Yankees lead, bottom of inning number 3. Game 4, 0-2 pitch. Ball 1.
Denny Nagel trying to expand the zone on the wild swinging Perez. He's seen 6 pitches, 5 strikes in his first 2 at-bats.
Off the hands, and it's still 1-2. Here's a guy who was as important as any player for the Mets in the first 2 rounds of the playoffs, scoring 10 runs, stealing 3 bases in the first 2 rounds, and in this World Series, just 1 hit, no run scored. Up the middle, a leadoff base hit. That's how the bottom of the 3rd inning begins for the Mets. Well, you saw the promo for the new show on Fox, The Street, the creator of Sex and the City. Next Wednesday, 9 Eastern, 8 Central. Bridget Wilson, Mrs. Pete Sampras on the far right, Jennifer Connelly and Rick Hoffman. Stars of the new Fox show, The Street. That'll be for you on Wednesday. Next Wednesday, 9 Eastern, 8 Central. Right now, it's Edgardo Alfonzo. Runner at first, nobody out. Ball 1. The Shea crowd is trying to climb back into the action.
They've got the right guys up to do it, too. Alfonzo, then Piazza.
To the third baseman, Brocious. Thought about second. Fires to first. One out. Down to second is Perez. That'll bring in Piazza. During the season, when the Yankees made the acquisition and brought Denny Neagle aboard, the report was that Neagle rejected a 4-year deal for $36 million. And then about that time, when the contract talks broke off, Denny Neagle started to fall apart on the mound for the Yankees. Mentioned earlier, he lost 4 straight decisions at the end of August, beginning of September, and lost his last 3 starts of the regular season. Runner at second, 1 out. Piazza, ball 1. These big games, and obviously they don't get any bigger than World Series games. He made 1 decent start in the ALCS, 1 not so good. But these count a little more than a regular season start at Tampa Bay, so he could make up for a lot of those struggles with a good one here tonight.
A lot of players break down when money is talked about during the season. You say, well, he has an agent, but the agent often confers with the player. You can't directly blame it on that, but it could have had something to do with that.
Piazza gets into one to left field. Back at the wall. Goodbye. 2-run homer, Piazza. It's a 1-run game. Just how strong he is.
Unbelievable. The first time up, he hit a ball out of the ballpark. Foul. This one, fair. Hits it on one leg. One leg.
Zeile. Ball 1.
Here it is right here. You can see that back leg right there. Front leg, change up, gone. Very few people who have ever played the game are that strong. Man.
2-0 on Zeile. Lasorda with a ceremonial first pitch last night along with Lisa Fernandez. Lifelong friends with Mike Piazza's father, Vince.
2 guys from Norristown, Pennsylvania, right outside Philadelphia.
Zeile on 2-1. Jammed, and that's a foul ball. The crowd saying, "Run, Todd, run." But it's 2-2. And Tommy Lasorda, his relationship with Bobby Valentine is well known, manager of these Mets. There are some rumors that if Bobby Valentine, if it is delayed, a contract offer here from the Mets, that the Dodgers will try to sneak in and get something done. Former first-round draft pick of the Dodgers back in '68. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out, nobody on. Foul off the foot of Zeile.
Back in 1968, in that draft, first of all, the Major League draft started in 1965. Then in '68, Bobby Valentine was drafted 5th. The number 4 draft was taken by the New York Yankees, and it was Thurman Munson right ahead of Bobby. Had he not broken his leg, that horrible compound fracture in 1973, he would have been a terrific Major League Baseball player.
Bobby Valentine reminded of that accident every time he gets dressed in the morning. Reminder there on his leg. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out, nobody on, and Zeal took ball 3 up and away. Bobby Valentine was a tremendous athlete, good football player. Stamford, Connecticut. Three balls, 2 strikes on Zeal.
Todd realizing he missed his pitch there. Right up in his wheelhouse. Todd Zeal looks for a ball to jerk, and he had one there.
One out. 2 runs home for the Mets, who trail by 1. And Zeal reaching for it, pops it up. Soho, 2 out. Let's look at Joe Torre as a major league player. 1960 to 1968 with the Milwaukee and the Atlanta Braves, and then the great years with the Cardinals, National League MVP in 1971. He hit .363. Player manager with the Mets in 1977. After playing here from 75 to 77, and he managed here with the Mets until 81. 2 years, 1977, 1978, he managed Bobby Valentine, who was a New York Met. 2 out, nobody on, 1 ball, no strikes. Robin Ventura, 2-0.
The year Joe Torre was the MVP in '71, he had 230 hits for the Cardinals, and not a one was an infield hit. He must have 400 line drives that year.
Hard hit ball to first off the bat of Ventura. Into the glove of Tino Martinez. A pitch from Denny Neagle onto the bat of Mike Piazza. And with that, it's a 1-run game after 3 in game 4. A 3-2 Yankee lead as this game gets to the middle innings. 4th inning. Tino Martinez, Paul O'Neill, and Jorge Posada. Easy to recap what's happened so far. A leadoff home run by Jeter in the 1st. He was busy later in the 3rd. The leadoff triple and scored on an RBI groundout by Soho. Between those 2 innings, a 1-out triple by Paul O'Neill as Tino Martinez bloops one into shallow right center for a base hit. Sac fly for Brocious in this game. It's a 3-2 score and a leadoff hit for the Yankees. It belongs to Tino Martinez. Our St. Paul Company's trivia question. 14 years ago today, the Mets won Game 6 of the 1986 World Series. Who was the winning pitcher? Did you do that series, by the way?
No, I did not. Did the National League Championship Series. Our producer, Mike Wiseman, was the producer for NBC. Ben Scully, Joe Garagiola with the coverage.
That Game 6, rather memorable.
Oh.
And that action taking place right here on this field at Shea. Still makes you shake your head, doesn't it?
It really does.
1 on with nobody out. And here is Paul O'Neill. Mets can't figure him out. Ball 1 up and away. O'Neill, a triple, a run scored. 8 out of 13 in this World Series. Facing Bobby Jones. Since that dominating performance, the 1-hitter in Game 4 of the division series against the Giants. 7+ innings. Big numbers. Tough short hop. Good play. And out at second as Ventura took a risk, and it paid off. Tino Martinez out on the force out. 5-4.
I think Tino Martinez slid too early. When he slid, he stopped. I think it was a good call by Jerry Crawford, the second base umpire. In between hop, Ventura double clutch, and now the throw to second base. Thought he had him. Yeah, he's out. One more look. He's out. Good call by Jerry Crawford. but Martin is sliding too early. If he takes another half step, I think he makes it.
Joe Torre right out of the dugout. But the replays verify that Jerry Crawford made the right call. Runner at first, 1 out. And now Jorge Posada bats. And a check on O'Neill.
Joe, how many third basemen would make that play? Almost all third basemen would go to first base on that play.
I'm thinking of 2 guys, and they're both in this game.
That's right. Scott Brosius and Robin Ventura. 6 Gold Gloves to his credit. And you just saw one of the reasons why.
Now O'Neill's running. Hit and run, and a bouncer to Alfonso. Jones to the bag. What a play. 2 out.
Oh, my goodness. What a play by Alfonso. Watch Todd Zeile come off the bag. High chopper with O'Neill running. Zeile can't get to it. You talk about anticipation. Just a terrific play by a terrific second baseman. Boy, that's nice.
Edgardo Alfonso to his left. Feeding Jones to the bag, and now with first base open after that terrific defensive play. 2 in this inning. One on the left side by Ventura, this one by Alfonso. The decision is easy as Brosius gets the intentional walk. It'll be up to Denny Nagel with 2 on, 2 out, trying to add to a 3-2 Yankee lead. Second intentional pass of the night handed out by the Mets.
I think the only other second baseman, perhaps, that gets to that ball is Robbie Alomar of the Cleveland Indians. Remember that World Series in 1993, the play that Robbie Alomar made behind first base on a ball that didn't have a lot of hang time. And when he ended up, he was almost on the line. Extraordinary range for those 2.
Now 2 on, 2 out for Nagel, who struck out his first time up. Ball 1 high from Jones. Nagel 7 out of 37 at the plate this season with 3 RBIs. In his career, we mentioned a 153 hitter. 3 home runs, 34 RBIs. That's foul. 1 ball, 1 strike. Lee Mazzilli was a part of that 86 World Series with the Mets. Played here with the Mets from 76 to 81 and again from 86 to 89. Now the first base coach for Joe Torre.
Broke in under Joe Torre.
Two runners on for the Yankees, who have stranded only 1 tonight. They lead by a run here in the 4th inning. Outside corner, strike 2. Agbayani, Payton, and Bordick will bat for the Mets in the bottom of the inning. Rick White getting ready if he's needed. In the air to right field. Perez back to get it. Went a long way, but finds the glove of the 23-year-old rookie. Denny Nagel flies out. The Yankees lead 2. Edgardo Alfonso, pride of Venezuela. Good play to his left. Good defense in the inning by the Mets, who trail by 1. The St. Paul Company's trivia question. 14 years ago today, the Mets won Game 6 of the 1986 World Series. Who was the winning pitcher? The answer, Rick Aguilera. Pitched the final 2 innings, and here's how the game ended with Bob Stanley on the mound. A 5-5 game. The roller by Mookie Wilson. It got through Buckner. Didn't think we could do a World Series game here at Shea Stadium and not show this. But as Red Sox fans wince and cringe across the country, that's how that game ended, and it was Rick Aguilera getting the victory for the Mets.
Our ratings in Boston just dropped 2 points.
That's right. I never liked them anyway. 2 balls, no strikes on Agbayani. Payton and Bordick will follow. 3-2 the Yankees lead. Wilson.
Most popular player in Met history, Mookie Wilson.
Looked like he was in REM sleep there for a second.
Rapid eye movement.
Yes. All-time leader with his franchise in the stolen base department, 281. He would like to welcome Agbayani down to first base. 3 balls, no strikes. And Nagel pours it in there, 3-1.
Fastball hitter, and Nagel has to stay away from the fat part of the plate. Payton on deck.
To the right side, down the line. Slicing foul, Tino Martinez. What a catch, 1 out. Wow, what a play by Tino Martinez.
What a play by Martinez. Near the stands, having to come back to his left, checking out the stands. What a set of hands right here. Folks, that's hard to do right there.
So that's the first out of the bottom of the 4th, and a wow out of Joe Torre on that as well. Jay Payton now, who singled his first time up. Ball 1.
Got 2 terrific defensive first basemen in the American League. John Olerud with the Seattle Mariners and Tino Martinez. Tino Martinez is among the best right-handed throwing first basemen that I've seen in some time.
There's some good ones in the game today, like Andres Galarraga, right-handed throwing first baseman. Jeff Bagwell of the Houston Astros. Tino Martinez for these Yankees. Doesn't get a lot of credit for being a good first baseman, but he is. 1 ball, 1 strike on Payton. 1 out, nobody on. Up the middle, a 1-out single, and almost took Nagel's hat with it. 1 on, 1 out with Bordick coming up. And we go upstairs. This live view of the 2000 Subway Series, courtesy of the Bud One Airship. Seen by millions on its ongoing Goodwill Tour. Budweiser, the official beer of Major League Baseball and the World Series.
Denny Nagel 6'3 and a half, and sometimes it does not pay to be tall if you're a pitcher. You'd rather be about 5 inches shorter for this reason. Get down.
A visit from pitching coach Billy Connors. And by the way, while you watch Billy Connors, who is the fill-in pitching coach for Mel Stottlemyre, Bordick will stand in. It was nice to hear from Joe Torre that Mel Stottlemyre is feeling so well he's been cleared to swing the golf club and go to the driving range. Joe Torre's face lights up when he gives the reports on the health of Mel Stottlemyre, who underwent stem cell transplant surgery. 1 on, 1 out, Bordick. Ball 1.
Bobby Jones has come out to the on-deck circle. The Mets have Jason Grimsley and David Cone, 2 right-handers warming up. The Yankees, I beg your pardon. And the Mets had Rick White warming up in the top of the 4th inning, but no one is warming now.
2-0.
Bobby Jones will be facing the top of the lineup with Derek Jeter, who has already homered and tripled against Bobby. I think had Nagel gotten on, then Bobby Valentine would have brought in Rick White. So if you're going to bring him in the top of the 4th inning, why not pinch hit for Bobby Jones right now?
Still could happen.
Yeah.
A strike into Bordick. It's 2-1. The situation might dictate whether the Mets will use a pinch hitter, and a lot depends on what Bordick does here with a 2-ball, 1-strike count. Runner at first, 1 out. Ewing with a helmet on. Chops it into left. Justice coming to get it. 2 out.
With McEwing getting ready, Bobby Jones looking back to the dugout. Had Bordick gotten on base, I feel relatively sure that McEwing would have been the hitter. But because Bordick made an out, then Jones will hit for himself. It's funny how an out by your team keeps you in the ball game.
That's right. So Bobby Jones will bat. 2 hits that counted during the calendar year as he chops it foul. Strike 1. This copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the Commissioner of Baseball and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent of Major League Baseball. No balls, 1 strike on Bobby Jones. Now strike 2. Jones is gone, and so are the Mets. A 1-out single by Payton. The Mets strand their 4th of the night, and as Game 4 goes to the 5th inning, the Yankees lead it by 1. It's 3-2. Welcome back to Shea Stadium. This game goes to the 5th inning. Game 4. A few commissioners on hand here tonight for Game 4. Paul Tagliabue, the NFL commissioner. Bud Selig, Gary Bettman in a leather jacket, NHL commissioner. They join the list of stars. The long list of those who have graced this 14th Subway Series with their presence. Here is Derek Jeter, who has homered. He's tripled. He takes a strike. Go ahead and say it. No player has ever
hit for a cycle in postseason play. And Derek Jeter has the 2 most difficult hits of a cycle, a home run and a triple.
No balls, 1 strike. Jones drops down a little bit, and it's out of play. Strike 2. Jones is saying, well, he's tattooed me twice with a home run and a triple the opposite way off the wall, so I'll change my arm angle. 0-2.
Both have been high fastballs. One was inside on the first pitch of the ball game. The other over the middle of the plate. And Jeter hit to right center field.
Derek Jeter trying to reach base for the 3rd consecutive time. Ball 1. Joe Torre will tell you that he will prefer and does prefer having Jeter bat in the number 2 spot. Well, he's proven tonight, leading off 2 different innings, that he's not a bad choice at the leadoff spot either. He can hit anywhere, any spot in this order. That's on the outside corner. Not according to Jeter, but according to Tim Welke, 1 out.
Derek thought it was outside, but because Piazza is sitting there, you're going to get that pitch. With a pitcher being that far ahead, 1 ball and 2 strikes, you see Jeter did not agree with home plate umpire Tim Welke. But if a catcher sits there, even though it's off the plate just a hair, you'll get that pitch.
Ball 1 now to Soho. In case you're wondering if anybody's come close to a cycle, back in 1968, our good friend Lou Brock came close. Game 4. A double, a triple, and a home run. Did not have the single. 1 ball, no strikes, 1 out, nobody on. Name drop. Always name drop.
You have to. It's a World Series.
I guess so. 2 balls, no strikes. Soho an RBI in this game. His 8th of this postseason. And Bobby Jones is pitching to him like name any one of Yankee stars from years gone by. Being extra careful now. Ball 4, and on 4 straight, the first unintentional walk of the night, and it goes to Luis Sojo. 1 on, 1 out. Coming up tonight and every night, it's the 11 p.m. Regional Sports Report on Fox Sports Net. 30 minutes of nightly sports news completely dedicated to local home teams. Check out the 11 p.m. Regional Sports Report nightly, only on Fox Sports Net on your local cable or satellite provider.
If you're Bobby Valentine, you got to be thinking about getting Glendon Rush back up. He was up earlier, and with the left-handed hitters coming up for the Yankees after Bernie Williams, you have Tino Martinez and Paul O'Neill back-to-back. You don't want Jones facing them.
You saw him walk in to go warm up before you said that. Come on.
Well, that's what promos are for.
That's right.
When you do that, when you're reading that, I can look at the bullpen. It makes me look good.
Now would be the perfect time for Rutsch. It's like Dick Vitale. They need a TO, baby. While he's watching the coach call for timeout. 1 on, 1 out. Justice, ball 1.
Those are little tricks of the non-promo reading trade.
That's right. Hey, whatever works, man. You've been around this a lot longer than me. Yankees leading 3-2. Game 4, 1 on, 1 out. Justice. Checked his swing, 2-0.
His body swung, but his bat didn't. Good call. No way you're going to send the runner in this situation. A power hitter like Justice, 41 home runs on the year. You want him to choose his pitch and hack.
On the outside corner, a good 2-0 pitch to make it 2-1.
Again, when you're behind in the count, keep the ball away, particularly from the big guys.
Away and down, and hope you get a call. So to first, and the runner gets back. You've got Bernie Williams on deck. Then Tino Martinez, then Paul O'Neill. Tim talking about the presence of Glendon Rush out in the bullpen. Jones could be facing his last batter depending on what happens here. 2 balls and a strike. Now 3-1. At the very least, a decision coming up for Bobby Valentine if Justice should reach. Jones pitching in the 5th inning, up to 74 pitches on the night.
Again, this is not a time to send the runner. Joe Torre does that occasionally, but usually it's guys like Sojo hitting, Brosius hitting, or O'Neill hitting, not with a power guy.
Throw over, and after spinning his wheels, Sojo falls back in safely.
Remember, we were kidding in the first game about those offensive counts, those Don Rickles counts,
yes,
2-0, 3-0,
the Dennis Leary counts. Yeah.
Yep, this is one right here. This is when the hitter is at his most offensive.
There goes the runner, and a ground ball to the right side. Alfonzo makes the play, gets the out. Sensational play by Edgardo Alfonzo. 2 out.
He is all over the place. The play he made the last inning on Posada, and now the dive, and he gets to his knee quickly to throw out Justice. Extension, quick throw, got him. If that ball is through there, the Yankees have runners on 1st and 3rd, and only 1 out. Huge play for the Mets.
Every last piece of Rawlings leather used on that play by Edgardo Alfonzo. And now with a runner at second, Soho, and 2 out. Bernie Williams, since game 3 of the '99 World Series, 0 for his last 20 in World Series at bats. Strike 1. He went up there and swung at the first pitch.
We mentioned his last at bat that he had not been aggressive. Bernie whacks his helmet, as several major league players are
Did you ever
apt
do that?
to do. No. I didn't like getting hit in the head at all with the bat, the ball, or runners.
0-1 the count on Williams. Here are the Yankees looking for 3 consecutive World Series victories. 98, 99, 2000, and their cleanup hitter Bernie Williams. Last RBI during the World Series was game 4 in 1998 against San Diego. A .121 career hitter in the World Series. Runner at second, 2 out, and an 0-2 count on Williams. Williams backs out. Game going on between Jones and Williams. Jones waits. Williams steps out. Jones steps off. Now we're ready. A ball and 2 strikes. Still waiting. Bernie Williams says enough. Gets time again. Two and 2.
4 fastballs. Tino Martinez on deck. 3 fastballs away and 1 fastball up and in. I would imagine Jones and Piazza will go back outside to Williams. Runner on at second base. As a catcher, you set up as late as you can, but still give your pitcher a good target. Back inside.
Pretty good rip. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Lee Mazzilli, the first base coach of the Yankees, he is a little tired of watching Edgardo Alfonzo take hits away from his players.
Todd, I'm getting tired of seeing that now. I'm getting tired of seeing that. Every other play.
Fields going, I can't hear you. What? Played third. He could play short. He's an all-star second baseman. Runner at second, 2 out. 3-2 Yankees, 5th inning. And a 2-2 count on Bernie Williams. That's foul. Big over the top hook.
That's the first curveball that Jones has thrown Williams in this ball game. And Bernie had a swing at it like he wasn't expecting it.
trying to figure out a way to get through the top of the fifth. Runner at second with 2 out. Jones again steps off. Two-2 to Williams. Right at the shortstop Bordick. Bernie Williams thinking, what do I have to do? Now 0 for his last 21 in World Series play. Edgardo Alfonzo tonight, 2 terrific plays. That in the 4th, this in the 5th. Halfway through game 4, 3-2 Yankees. World Series 2000. This is game 4. We're halfway through game 4. The weather up here, I know I keep saying this, but it's stunning how pleasant it's been through the month of October.
What a shot that was at the Empire State Building.
Timo Perez leads it off, was inching up. One of those slap swings, and he took strike 1.
Empire State Building with Met colors and Yankee colors.
Oh, and 1 the count. High ball into right for Paul O'Neill. 1 away. Perez 1 out of 3. The batter will be Edgardo Alfonzo. While you're up here and you're covering a Subway World Series, for someone like myself, someone who wasn't around and somebody who wasn't a witness to some of those Subway World Series, it is a treat to get the different dailies, the different papers, and not only read about, as you see some of the writers hard at work here tonight at Shea Stadium, not only read about the series that we're covering here in 2000, but also to read about those great Subway series in that stretch. We talked about it during the National League Championship Series from 1947 to 1956, a 10-year span when there were 7 Subway series. The newspapers and the dailies up here were so heavily involved. The energy that just jumped off those pages as Alfonso pops one down the right field line. O'Neill into the corner. 2 out. And the names of some of the greats, writers and the columnists, those old Subway Series days, time when there were multi-editions. Piazza walks in. Joe Torre walks out. We may have a pitching change here in the bottom of the 5th inning. So before Piazza bats, we'll continue talking about this series and its history when we come back. Nagel's finished in the 5th.
Look at the stunned expression on Denny Nagel's face looking at Joe Torre. And now I think he looks out at the scoreboard to see if it's an official game. It's not, because he's only worked 4 2/3 innings with the lead. Shaking hands and immediately leaving, and Denny Nagel is none too happy about being removed here, but certainly you can understand it with Piazza coming up.
Piazza coming up. Piazza blasted a 2-run home run in the 3rd inning to make it a 3-2 game. We'll get to Cohn in 1 second. You go back to the first at bat. The 1st inning, he hit an upper deck shot foul, or at least second deck shot foul here. And now with 2 out, nobody on, Piazza will take on former New York Met, the guy who starred here at Shea Stadium for the Mets, David Cohn. Ball 1. 80 and 48 in his 6 years with the Mets, including 1988 when he was 20 and 3 with an ERA of 2.22. One ball, no strikes on Piazza. 1-1. Joe Torre undecided for the first couple of games of this World Series as to who would get the ball to start this 4th game. Denny Nagel got the call, but Cohn gets the early call out of the bullpen as he keeps it away from Piazza. It's 1-2.
That's a snapping slider from David Cohn. After hitting with the fastball, he gets a tightly spinning slider. And I think Mike Piazza will see that again.
And he spoiled it to stay at the plate. Go back in time to David Cone as a New York Met. With the Mets from 87 to 92. He had wicked stuff. And was a guy that, whether it was Davey Johnson or someone else, they just gave him the ball and let him do his thing, and he racked up some pitch counts that were staggering during his time with the Mets. A 1-2. Piazza pops it up. So Joe Torre makes the move. He brings David Cone out of the bullpen, and here it's Shea. He gets Mike Piazza to end the 5th inning. A pop up to the second baseman, and a combination of Nagel and Cone tonight. The Yankees up by 1 after 5. As Tino Martinez walks in to lead off the 6th this week on Fox NFL Sunday. It begins with JB, Terry, Howie, and Chris on America's favorite pregame show. Then Randy Moss and the Vikings look to stay undefeated. And Warren Sapp and the Buccaneers, their 5th straight loss. Or Isaac Bruce and the Rams look to come back from last week's loss in Kansas City to beat the 49ers for the 4th consecutive time. Or other regional matchups. All right here on Fox, starting at noon Eastern, 9 Pacific this Sunday. Check your local listings. Check your local bullpen and find that Glendon Rush is the first out of it for the Mets after Jones went 5 innings, 3 runs on 4 hits. It's the lefty Rush to work here in the 6th.
Neither manager considering personal records in this situation, nor should they. Joe Torre nor Bobby Valentine.
To the left side, tricky hop. Bordick stays with it. 1 out. Martinez is gone.
It will be a chess match for the last 4 innings.
Yeah, I was going to bring up earlier, with there being no DH in these games in the National League City at Shea, a little different for Joe Torre than in the League Championship Series when Nagel was on the mound. When Nagel was on the mound and he struggled in the middle innings, he went right to Jeff Nelson. But it's a little trickier to do that in these games because the pitcher has to bat. So now the middle relief gets exposed for the Yankees. And we'll see what David Cone does in his role here tonight. He got through the 5th inning. Meanwhile, the Mets have gone to Glendon Rush, and that was the plan. They got 5 solid innings out of Bobby Jones, and now it's Glendon Rush. You can see this comparison of their bullpen. Rivera, Nelson, Stanton, the 3 of them combined in this postseason for 20 games, 25 2/3 innings. And a great ERA, only 8 games and 8 innings from the rest of the entire bullpen, with an ERA over 5.5. No balls, 1 strike, and O'Neill takes ball 1. Joe Torre, who cut his teeth managing in the National League with these Mets back in that style, can't hide your bullpen forever. There's a ground ball up the middle, is a base hit. Even Alfonso can't get to it as O'Neill is on. He's 2 out of 3 tonight and 9 out of 15 in this World Series.
Now Joe Torre will get somebody up in the bullpen, because if Posada or Brocious get on, and he'll also get someone up on the bench, and that someone is Jose Canseco or Jose Vizcaino, depending on whether Joe needs and the Yankees need a long ball or a base hit.
David Cone, who was on this mound for the first time since 1992, thinking, is that it? Is that all I'm going to get? He's also saying, hey, remember, I'm a pretty good hitter. But not in this situation if the inning should fall to the number 9 spot, which is 3 spots away. One on, 1 out. That's Canseco. Might see him for the first time in this postseason here in the 6th inning. No at bats so far. There's David Cone, right-handed thrower, left-handed batter. Hoping he gets a chance to swing the bat. 1 on, 1 out. Posada takes ball 1.
I think the only way that David Cone would get a chance to swing the bat is if Posada homers or Brocious homers. If there are men on base, however, I don't think David hits.
1 ball, 1 strike on Posada. Glendon Rusch on the mound, who lives in Seattle, Washington. Over the offseason, after getting a taste of life as a Met at the end of last season when he was traded here from Kansas City. Jeff Nelson getting loose for the Yankees. Glendon Rusch flew here and worked out at Shea Stadium with Dave Wallace, pitching coach. Wallace came down to New York and Rusch came all the way across the country. They worked on some mechanics, talked about the philosophy of pitching. Glendon Rusch, who went into spring training vying for a spot in the rotation, won that derby. And Bill Pulsipher, the left-hander Bobby Jones, and that man Rusch. Posada pops it into left. Park will hold it. Agbayani. 2 out.
I think Dave Wallace working on the mechanics of Glendon Rusch and also the mechanics of the mind and his confidence. Once your mechanics as a pitcher is established, then the other is so important, knowing you belong. Boy, does Glendon Rusch ever belong on this team. He has just been terrific in the postseason.
One on, 2 out now, and Brocious bats as Rusch checks on O'Neill. In the 6th inning, and the Yankees lead 3-2. David Cone, if he goes back out there, will work to Zeal, Ventura, and Agbayani in the bottom of the inning. Base hit through the left side, and that might force the move by Joe Torre. 2 singles, and Cone is being called back to the dugout.
And if he sends up Jose Canseco, Bobby Valentine has no one warming up. He doesn't have Turk Wendell. And I think Joe Torre loves this matchup. If you're Valentine, you at least have to think about bringing in a right-hander to face Canseco. But no one is up in the Met bullpen. And now someone's getting up, but it's too late to get him ready, I think.
Jose Canseco, the 1989 American League Championship Series, Game 4 at Skydome. This home run with the A's against the Blue Jays, the 5th tier of the left field bleachers. The ball officially measured at 480 feet. But those in the park that game, and I know Bob Costas and Tony Kubek did that game, I'll tell you, it went about 500 feet, maybe more, as Rick White loosens up. But it is going to be Glendon Rusch against Jose Canseco.
He might get him out, but Joe Torre loves this matchup. He noticed no one was up for the Mets in their bullpen. And now Rusch is forced to pitch to Canseco because Rick White's not ready.
Jose Canseco called on to be a pinch hitter, something he's not used to.
Valentine trying to get Mike Piazza's attention. Now he looks over.
Canseco 3rd on the home run list among active players. Former Bash brother Mark McGwire at the top of that list. McGwire ended this season as a pinch hitter. 2 on, 2 out, and Canseco takes ball 1.
Canseco, for a big guy, for a home run hitter, has a very good eye. He's a better low ball hitter at this stage of his career because you don't need as quick a bat on the low pitch as you do the high pitch.
Looks like he's up there taking a strike, and it's 1-1. Canseco, in case you're wondering, 5 out of 31 in his career as a pinch hitter. And in his career against Glendon Rusch, 2 out of 7 with no home runs. 2 hits in the inning. Two on, 2 out, and Rusch steps off. Canseco trying to add to a 3-2 Yankee lead. 2-1. Runners on. Neal and Brocious with Jeter, who's already 2 out of 3 tonight next. But it's Rusch and Canseco. strike two.
So you can look at Jose Canseco with the hands that low. There's no way he's going to hit a ball that is up. That makes him a low ball hitter. Futile swing right there. Overpowered, a powerful man.
The 25-year-old left-hander, Glendon Rush, with a 2-2 to Canseco. Got him looking. Glendon Rush got the Mets out of the top of the 6th inning by getting Canseco looking.
Hitting major league pitching is very difficult, but rarely would a left-hander overmatch Jose Canseco like Glendon Rush did. One wave of the bat. First pitch is high, the next one's a strike, and look at this swing right here. And then he strikes out on a fastball on the inside part.
So Jose Canseco, as Jeff Nelson takes over, who was last at the plate October 1st and has been quoted as saying, I don't know what good I'm going to be as a pinch hitter. I don't know what I add to this team. Added a strikeout and got the Mets out of trouble in the top of the inning as Nelson deals with Zeile and starts him with a strike. Zeile 0 for 2. Ventura and Agbayani will follow. Jeff Nelson trying to protect a 6th inning 3-2 lead. 1 ball, 1 strike, and that nasty slider.
You know, we talked about it in the opening. Todd Zeile, Joe Torre saying before the game that there is not a fastball he cannot turn around right now with that quick bat.
2-1. Up the middle, base hit. Leadoff man is on for the Mets in the 6th. Last night, Robin Ventura, first at bat, did that against El Duque. Tonight, Ventura is 0 for 2. Tying run at first with nobody out in the 6th inning. Strike 1. Certainly had to come into this game with a matchup of Nagel and Jones expecting more offense, but both pitched relatively well, and it's a 3-2 game in the 6th. 1 ball, 1 strike.
That's a situation where Jeff Nelson is using a slide move when he doesn't need to. Todd Zeile is not a fast runner at first base, and that's one of the criticisms of Nelson with runners on base. He worries too much about the runners and not enough about the hitters, and here he is throwing over to first base.
2 reasons why Zeile won't run. He doesn't steal bases, and there's a big hole on the right side of the infield for the left-handed batter Ventura.
Right.
They could start the runner in a hit and run, but that's a different story. 1 ball, 1 strike. On the inside corner, strike 2. Ventura 3 out of 14 in this World Series.
Here it is. Instead of the high leg kick, Jeff Nelson, a big guy, does not pick the left foot up that far and slides it home. And what that does, doesn't affect his control, but it does affect his power.
The opposite way. Justice coming on. Wow. So Nelson gives up the hit to the right-handed hitting Seal against the lefty Ventura, and here's Agbayani. Now Mike Stanton getting loose. This game's only in the 6th inning. Runner at first, 1 out. On the outside corner. Agbayani trying to do everything he can to add his name to the list of unlikely World Series heroes. It is a long list. Agbayani last night put the Mets on top for good in the 8th. He lines one to Nelson, double play. Nelson stuck the glove out, stabbed it, fired over to first, and the double play ends the 6th. Out of the 7th, 3-2 Yankees. Back after this from your local Fox station. Now it's the 7th inning of Game 4, a 3-2 Yankee lead. It's been that way since the bottom of the 3rd when Mike Piazza hit a home run. Scoreless through the middle innings. And now it's Jeter with Soho and Justice to follow against Glendon Rush. Ball 1.
First pitch outside, no surprise. What the outfield of the Mets is doing, they're giving Derek Jeter the left field line. There is a huge area to left field.
That one is hit the opposite way, but Alfonso's on the other end of it, 1 out.
In baseball, that's known as pitching them away and playing them away. And that's what the outfield was doing there.
When Joe Torre made the pitching change, as we watch this smash to the second baseman Alfonso again. Joe Torre made the pitching change back in the 5th inning. We were talking about the beat writers and the columnists from the New York dailies up here during the Subway Series days, talking about that great stretch, and again from 1947 to 1956, a 10-year span, 7 Subway Series, and some of the names of those writers, and some are still here, bridging that gap. Ball 1 to Soho. Dave Anderson, who was with the Brooklyn Eagle, now with the Times, who is here. Jack Lang was with the Long Island Press. Papers defunct. Jack Lang is still going. That's low. 2 balls, no strikes on Soho. Milton Richmond with UPI. Jimmy Cannon, New York Post. Dick Young, the New York Daily News. Herb Gorin from the New York Sun wrote the Old Scout column. And now the men and women who fill these newspapers day after day with story after story, and they've had plenty to write about over the last couple of weeks. 3 balls and a strike on Soho. 1 out, nobody on. Opposite way base hit for Soho. 1 on, 1 out.
Now there were more teams, today than there were 44 years ago. Only 16 teams compared to 30 today. 2 teams west of the Mississippi, Kansas City and St. Louis. Playoff teams, there are 8 playoff teams now. If you won your pennant, you were in the World Series. Minimum salary, $200,000 now. Only 6,000 then. So things have changed dramatically.
The World Series share, forget it.
It will probably be about 330 to 340,000 a man this year.
That's ball 1 to Justice. Glendon Rush trying to pitch around a 1-out hit by Soho. That's on the outside corner. 1-1. 20-game winners, though, the interesting stat at the bottom of that graphic. 20-game winners, 9 then, 4 this year. So fewer teams, more 20-game winners. 2 balls and a strike on Justice.
The reason for that is pitchers were pitching with 3 days rest. There were 4-man pitching rotations. Pitchers pitching 38 starts, 37 starts. Now it's more like 32 or 33 starts. There were more opportunities to win 20 games then.
3 balls and a strike. Hit on the other side with the watered down nature with more teams. Talent level, you could make the case that those pitchers were facing better competition on a more routine basis. Runner at first, 1 out, 3 balls and a strike on Justice. Glendon Rush shot into center, right at Payton, 2 out. That was a seed hit to center field.
Jay Payton playing David Justice perfectly. Shading a little toward left center. Hardly had to move for that rope.
Here's Bernie Williams. 0 for his last 21 World Series at bats. Last time up, the runner on. Soho at second base. He lined out to short. He also fly to center, and now he bats right-handed against the lefty Rush. Strike 1. There was a time when the switch hitter Bernie Williams was a better, more dangerous right-handed batter, but that isn't the case. The last couple of years, he has been more productive, especially power-wise and RBI-wise, batting lefty.
His first 6 years, from 1991 through 1997, he was a much better right-handed hitter, about 45 points better.
0-2 from Rush.
But now it's changed. He's a better left-handed hitter.
Career numbers, and that's against right-handed pitching. Against left-handed pitching. 0-2 the count as this crowd gets to its feet here at Shea. Soho takes off. Throw down by Piazza is too late. It sails into center, but Soho will stay put. And the stolen base for Luis is his first of the postseason.
What a jump. The jump was so good, Mike Piazza would have been better off putting it in his pocket. No chance to get Soho. Watch this jump Soho has against Glendon Rush. Oh, man. He's halfway there before the ball was delivered. Now he's just holding his helmet. Well-timed stolen base by Soho.
One ball, 2 strikes on Williams. An RBI chance for Bernie with a runner at second, 2 out. Rush with a 1-2 count. We'll do it again. Tino Martinez waits to hit next. A 3-2 Yankee lead, a chance for another. 2-2. Postseason overall, Williams 1 out of 14 with runners in scoring position. 4 RBIs total. Full count.
Luis Soho, a very experienced base runner, realizes there are 2 outs and 2 strikes. We talked about it last night. When you, as the runner on at second base, see that ball in the hitting area, you take off. 2 strikes, 2 outs.
3-2. The Mets in the bottom of the 7th inning will have the bottom of their order, including Rush, who will bat 3rd. So this is it for Glendon Rush here in the top of the 7th. To Williams. Big run sitting out there for the Yankees. One out hit by Soho. He stole second. During this at bat, he's out there with 2 out. Time to stretch. Bernie Williams 0 for 15 in this World Series. Yankees lead 3-2. Up above the Bud 1 airship, Budweiser would like to thank LaGuardia Tower for ensuring the safety of the airship in the 2000 World Series. LaGuardia right next door. Bud 1 airship up above and down below. Plenty of action, even in a 3-2 game. Yankees up by a run, bottom of the 7th. And the Mets will bat. Here's Jay Payton. Greeting old fans down there below the booth.
Yep.
Nothing in 1 on Payton is John Franco, last night's winner for the Mets. Gets loose.
I worked here for 16 years. I know a lot of these people by first name basis. Come on.
Strike 2 on Payton. Lenny Harris on deck. Appears he will hit for Bordick. And then either Franco or Hamilton, depending on who's on the mound for the Yankees. If it's still Nelson, would hit for Rush. 1-2. Pitch, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Jeff Nelson, 4 straight sliders. 2 that caught the outside corner. Mike Stanton ready. Be interesting to see which way Joe Torre goes. Remember Mariano Rivera can go 2 innings tonight.
Now the count's full. It was 0-2.
So Joe Torre is not at all worried about using 2 pitchers in this inning, Nelson and Stanton.
And he's in a spot now, Tim, where he only needed Cone for a 1/3 of an inning, the way the game unfolded. That middle relief still has been rather silent in this World Series.
Meanwhile, Jay Payton has battled back from an 0-2 count to a full count.
On the outside corner, 1 out.
The sequences are easy when they're all the same pitch. 2 sliders for strikes. A wider slider. A still wider slider. Another slider. 6 straight sliders. Gets Jay Payton.
So Payton is gone, and now Lenny Harris will bat for Bordick, who was 0 for 2 while he was in there. Harris was the starter, the DH in Game 2 at Yankee Stadium, and went 0 for 4. Strike 1.
See Lee Mazzilli moving Bernie Williams back. Bernie Williams was in, and Mazzilli wants more of a no doubles defense right now. They're playing no doubles at right and left, but Bernie Williams, Mazzilli thinks, is too shallow.
Lenny Harris with a good swing, but it's 1-2. Lenny Harris, a weapon off the bench for any manager he has played for over the years. 130 pinch hits he's put together. Number 4 on the all-time list. Manny Mota at the top of that list. 1 ball, 2 strikes, and that stayed up and away. 2-2. Darryl Hamilton on deck. Pitcher's spot is next. Up and away again. 3-2. Eyes have seen plenty of baseball over the years.
52 years of it.
A 1-out walk, and Harris had to work to get it.
Thing about pinch hitting Lenny Harris, I think Joe Torre's going to make the move right now to Mike Stanton because Harris is a base running threat. And Jeff Nelson is very easy to steal against.
On top of that, you've got the lefty Hamilton announced as the pinch hitter. It wouldn't surprise anybody if Bubba Trammell's standing at the plate when we come back to Shea. 1 on, 1 out in the 7th. Joe Torre just made a pitching change here in the 7th inning, and he talks to us about struggles that the Yankees have had this postseason in the bullpen.
Just fortunate that when we've had a breakdown in the bullpen in the postseason, it's been in games that we've had a little room to breathe, and you can't not go to the people that have gotten you here and have pitched well here. Even Mariano gave up a 3-run home run. He's going to be my closer, and in every game we're in a position to close.
So now it's Stanton with 1 on, 1 out. Good numbers from Mike. Did not appear in the league championship series, by the way. Postseason 2-0. Good ERA, and it is Bubba Trammell at the plate, batting for Darryl Hamilton, and was hitting for Glendon Rush, who pitched 2 shutout innings. Kurt Abbott on deck with Perez, the scheduled hitter. Abbott's going to have to come in the game and play short, as Bordick has been lifted for a pinch hitter in the 7th inning as well. Strike 1 on Trammell. Trammell's done a nice job off the bench for Bobby Valentine. That was game 1. Game-tying 2-run single. Last night, an insurance tally in the 8th inning with a sac fly off Stanton, who he faces now. Here's Trammell in game 4 with the tying run at first, 1 out in the 7th inning.
Yankees would love another sacrifice fly right now with nobody on third.
Right. That's also known as out number 2,
right,
with the runner returning to first. Breaking ball misses, ball 1.
We flash back to game 3 of the National League Division Series. The Mets and the Giants on that Saturday afternoon, won by the Mets in the 13th inning by Benny Agbayani's home run. In the 8th inning, a fielder's choice to Lenny Harris. He stole second base, and Edgardo Alfonso got a single off Rob Nin to tie it.
The 1-1. That's a strike, 1 and 2.
That sent the game into extra innings. As we said, Agbayani finished off the Giants. That gave the Mets a 2-1 lead, and the next day Bobby Jones pitched that dazzling one-hitter.
It's Harris on at first here in Game 4 of the World Series with 1 out. Trying to reach Stanton, who deals with Trammell. 1-2 pitch. 2 out.
But what Joe Torre did, he neutralized the running game, got Hamilton out of the game, and Stanton gets Trammell with a high fastball out of the strike zone.
So now Kurt Abbott will bat. That means 4 bench players have been used by Bobby Valentine in this 7th inning. First Harris, then Hamilton, Trammell, and now Abbott.
Yeah, Trammell stays in the game and goes to right. Abbott stays in the game and goes to short.
Strike 1 on Abbott.
Abbott does have a double in the series. He doubled over Paul O'Neill's head at Yankee Stadium. O'Neill now is deep in right field, and he well should be.
Two outs here in the 7th inning. Tying run at first for the Mets, Lenny Harris. That's just blown by Kurt Abbott. 93 miles per hour, and Stanton is still throwing hard.
Well, in that first game, the game that went 12 innings, won by the Yankees 4-3, Stanton retired all 6 Mets to face him with 3 strikeouts. And tonight, he's throwing just as hard.
And Franco left on the bench for Bobby Valentine, along with Joe McEwing and Todd Pratt. Harris at first with 2 out. Abbott strikes out. Mike Stanton comes in the game, strikes out Trammell, then Abbott. And after 7 in Game 4, the Yankees still leading 3-2. Well, still a 3-2 Yankee lead as Game 4 goes to the top of the 8th inning. Joe Buck, Tim McCarver with you. Bob Brenly down by the field. And I think 2 things. A, each manager ought to be happy with the starts that they got. Denny Nagel for the Yankees, Bobby Jones for the Mets. They were good enough. It's a 1-run game here in the 8th inning. And on top of that, John Franco's on the mound, and Bobby Valentine told us before the game, everybody's always asking me about my contract, because I stop some of them mid-sentence and say, what about John Franco's contract? Can you imagine having to do without John Franco on this Mets team?
Bobby thinking that John Franco can pitch another 4 years, and he's 40 years old right now. That's how good a shape number 45 is in. Won last night's ball game. And he'll be facing a couple of left-handers to lead it off here in the 8th inning.
Couple of defensive changes that were anticipated as Tino Martinez takes the ball up and in. But Trammell stays in the game. He's in right field. And then it's short after the Mets lifted Bordick for the pinch hitter. It's Kurt Abbott. Top of the 8th inning, Yankees batting. They lead 3-2, and a base hit through the right side for Tino Martinez. 2 out of 4 tonight, and 8 out of 16 in this World Series.
Paul O'Neill has not sacrificed since 1993, so forget about it. Forget about it, as they say in the area.
One on, nobody out. O'Neill. Strike 1. John Franco became the 2nd oldest player to win a World Series game last night. Dolph Luque in 1933. Cuba. The oldest. And slowing away. 1 ball, 1 strike. Jorge Posada waits to hit next. Then it's Brocious, a leadoff hit by Tino Martinez.
It is possible that Joe Torre would put the hit and run on, even though you have a left-handed pitcher, left-handed hitter.
Might be 2. Zeal. Abbott in the middle. Franco on the other end. Double play. 3-6-1. 2 out.
The most difficult double play, particularly with the left-handed pitcher, because he's falling toward third. What did Bobby Valentine say toward the end of our conversation today? John Franco is an excellent fielder, and he proves it again right here.
Zeal with a strong throw, and then Abbott. Perfect throw with Franco on his way to the bag, and O'Neill not running all that well. That factors in. 2 out, nobody on, and the batter is Posada, who is 0 for 2 with an intentional walk. Strike 1.
At slide at second, Tino Martinez getting down because Kurt Abbott made him get down. A lot of shortstops, in order to prevent being taken out, will drop down on the runner. Watch Abbott right from down there to make him get down. Nicely turned double play.
Strike 2 on Posada. The Mets in the bottom of this 8th inning will have Alfonso, Piazza, and Zeal. Franco trying to keep it a 1-run game. The big bats coming up for the Mets. They trail the Yankees by 1. Best seen the house tonight inside the Bud 1 airship, flying overhead tonight to bring you beautiful live shots of Shea Stadium and New York. Budweiser, the official beer of Major League Baseball, and the 2000 Subway Series. This Sunday morning, we're bringing the tailgate party to you with NFL This Morning on Fox Sports Net. A full 2 hours of morning madness to get you ready for kickoff. Chris Myers leads the NFL This Morning breakfast bunch for Chalk Talk, Trash Talk, Bagels, and Donuts. Add in comedian Jay Moore, and you get the most raucous and rocking Sunday morning pregame show anywhere. NFL This Morning this Sunday at 10 a.m. Eastern, 7 Pacific, only on Fox Sports Net on your local cable or satellite provider. Well, we're in the 8th inning, and with the Yankees leading 3-2, they turn it over to their best in the bullpen, one of the best ever in the postseason out of a bullpen, Mariano Rivera.
Touched up for a home run the other night by Jay Payton of the Mets. That narrowed the gap to 6-5. That was in game 2. Yankees carrying a 6-0 lead going into the top of the 9th inning. And the Mets are hoping not only to tie it here in the 8th, but if they do, the pitcher spot is hitting number 2 in the 9th inning. So if they tie it, they also get Rivera out of the ball game. Perhaps.
Benitez getting ready for the Mets. It's Alfonso at the plate. Strike 1. Alfonso tonight 0 for 2 with a walk. 2 out of 15 in this World Series. Two.
May have noticed with Piazza on deck where Posada was setting up. That is a pitch that Rivera has come up with this year. Setting up inside. He doesn't cut that pitch. It just stays on that level plane. If Posada sits up outside to a right-handed hitter, that's his cutter right here.
Alfonso into right field. O'Neill coming to get it. 1 out. Paul O'Neill is doing everything he can for these Yankees in the World Series. Bothered by a sore right hip, piling up hits and playing a strong right field.
O'Neill had to play deeper for Alfonso. He has good power the other way. That made this play a little tougher. Nicely done.
Now a battle between Rivera and Piazza. Strike one. Game 2 against the Mets. 1 inning. 3 earned runs. The home run hit by Peyton. 1 ball, 1 strike. Nagel started, got into the 5th. Cone finished the 5th. Nelson, Stanton. Now Rivera. To the shortstop, Jeter. 2 out.
There are many more Yankee fans at Shea Stadium than there were Met fans at Yankee Stadium. Clear from the applause.
Now it's Zeal, who's 1 out of 3.
Talked about it in the opening, saying that Joe Torre told us that the Yankees did not have a pitcher who had a fastball that Zeal couldn't turn around. Well, we'll see.
Zeal on 1-0. 1 ball, 1 strike. Two out, nobody on. 2 big threats erased by Rivera. Alfonso, then Piazza. 2 balls and a strike on Zeal. Home plate umpire wants to check the baseball. Yankees leading this series 2 games to 1. Leading this game 4 in the 8th inning, 3-2. Into left field, another hit for Zeal. He's on with 2 out. And that'll bring Ventura to the plate.
Now he turned that fastball around, didn't he? I think Joe McEwing is a potential pinch runner here, and yeah, here he comes. Zeal, we mentioned earlier, has no stolen bases. He's not a fast runner, so McEwing properly being put in the ball game.
We came on the air tonight talking about Paul O'Neill, who's 2 out of 4 and just made a sliding catch out and right, and Todd Zeal, who's 2 out of 4 and gives the Mets hope here in the 8th inning. Now it's Ventura, and a pop up on the infield. Jeter waits for it. And game 4 goes to the ninth. The Yankee relief corps tonight. Cone, Nelson, Stanton. And now Rivera. Ninth inning. 3-2 Yankees. Back at Shea Stadium, Subway Series, World Series continues. And after the game, it's your late local news. Or for those of you that want more post-game coverage, tune to Fox Sports Net on your local cable or satellite provider. Armando Benitez in the game for the Mets, trying to keep it close. It's 3-2 Yankees, ninth inning. And Brocious takes ball 1 up and in. Matt Franco is into the game at first. Franco will bat 8th. Pitcher Benitez will bat 4th in the spot vacated by Zeal and McEwen. 1 ball, 1 strike. That's strike 2. It's Brocious now. It's Rivera on deck, and then Jeter. Smile from Rivera, who doesn't get a chance to swing the bat often. In case you're wondering, Rivera has had 2 plate appearances in his major league career, both in the postseason, and none during interleague, by the way. Last was game 4 of the 1999 World Series. He's 0 for 2. But it's Brocious now. It's a 2-2 count. Wade Gooden getting loose for the Yankees in their bullpen. Now 3-2.
Not Gooden getting loose in case the Mets tie it in the bottom of the 9th inning. Rivera will go no more than 2 innings.
Armando Benitez had Brocious set up, and now he's lost that edge. 3 balls, 2 strikes. That's out of play. Benitez last night got the save, pitched the scoreless ninth, allowed a leadoff hit to Knobloch. Got around it. Brocious fights it off. Mets in the bottom of this 9th inning will have Agbayani, Payton, and then Matt Franco. Two. Yankees trying to go up 3 games to 1 in this 2000 World Series. A leadoff walk. Good at bat by Brocious, battling Benitez, and after fouling pitches away, he draws a leadoff walk, and that allows Rivera the chance to bunt.
Rivera will be bunting even with 2 strikes on it. Joe Torre does not want to take a chance. If you're the infielders, you can pinch, particularly the 3rd baseman. Robin Ventura will be breathing down his neck.
But he swings away and pops it into right. 1 out.
When you swing away and you hit it on the trademark, then you do what the Mets want you to do. Squaring around and now swinging. Ventura was about 10 feet from Rivera when he made contact.
Jeter now, who's 2 out of 4. Started this night with a home run on the first pitch. And the leadoff triple in the third. He scored a run. Ground ball to the right side by Luis Sojo.
Look how close Robin Ventura was to Mariano Rivera when he made contact. He's in the foreground right there. Fortunately for Ventura and the Mets, he had a harmless fly ball the other way.
The opposite way off the bat of Jeter. Trammell coming on, and he drops it. Brosius will stop at second. It's 2 on, 1 out.
Trammell may have lost that ball in the lights. Maybe. It was low enough, and outfielders here had a difficult time. It didn't appear, however, from that miss that the lights affected it. Just off the heel of the glove. Should be an error. Brosius going back a couple of steps. He can only go to second.
It's an error on Trammell. And it's 2 on, 1 out. A walk, an error in the inning, and Luis Sojo stands in. With runners at first and second, 1 out. Strike 1.
The odds are 10-1 against Sojo pulling a ball against Benitez. His natural stroke's the other way anyway. He will pepper that hole between first and second with regularity.
One and one.
I think Edgardo Alfonzo just said that if the ball's hit back to him, that Kurt Abbott would cover, because Alfonso's going to protect, or at least lean a little to his left, knowing Sojo, a fellow Venezuelan, hits it that way.
Runners go, and a foul out of play off to the right. Joe Torre trying to get a little action on the bases, and Sojo on a hit and run fouled it off to the right side. Now Sojo set up at 1 and 2. Still 1 and 2. Sojo with an RBI tonight, and right now it's the difference in the game. He made it 3-0 with an RBI ground out in the third. Two balls, 2 strikes.
Key pitch right here. If Benitez doesn't click with the 2-2 pitch, that means with 1 out and 2 on, the runners will be off. 3-2.
It is 3-2. David Justice on deck. Armando Benitez bothered with a problem in his right knee. He's had the right knee drained with fluid on the knee. There's an arthritic condition in there, and the talk about it with hitters. It's the case with Mark McGwire at the plate. Tendonitis, severe tendonitis in his right knee. It's the foundation. Same for Piazza, who's catcher. Benitez, who drives off that back leg, is not totally healthy, and it's showing here in the postseason. A 3-2 to Soho. Runners go, and a ground ball to second. Alfonso has only one player out at first, and it's second and third, 2 out.
That's how important that 2-2 pitch was. If that same ball is hit without the runners running, it's a double play, inning over. But because it was 3-2, runners running, no play at second, and Alfonso forced to go to first. Now the inning continues.
David Justice stands in, hitless on the night, only 2 out of 14 in the World Series.
David Justice, a more dangerous hitter than Bernie Williams at this time.
That's foul.
The difference is, and you can imagine what Bobby Valentine's thinking right now, if you put Justice on intentionally, Benitez has run a 3-2 count to 3 hitters thus far in this inning. And you really can't trust his control.
Second and third, 2 out, no balls, 1 strike, 1-1. Again, the Mets in the bottom of this 9th inning, facing Rivera, will have Agbayani, Payton, and Matt Franco. Anybody gets on, Bubba Trammell, who's hitting in the number 9 spot. Trammell's error figures in now. Second and third, 2 out. 2 ball, 1 strike count on Justice. And he runs this inning now would be unearned. That's of little significance in the grand scheme of things, the big picture for Benitez, who's trying to pitch back-to-back scoreless 9th inning. Benitez got Justice to end the game last night with a pop-up. Tries to get Justice to end the top of the 9th inning here with second and third, 2 out. Into right field, pretty well hit. Trammell near the track and now on it, puts it away. Trammell didn't see that ball initially. Got a late break, but went back to put it away. Agbayani, Payton, Franco coming up for the Mets, down by 1.
It's a 3-2 ball game, and you may remember back in the 3rd inning, we talked about it with Derek Jeter on third base. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Luis Soho. We talked about moving the right side of the infield in. Soho, had the infield been in, Derek Jeter doesn't score. David Justice, the next hitter, tapped toward first, and then Bernie Williams made the last out, flying to center. Had they played it that way, they don't score. Not an egregious error, but an error nonetheless. Minuscule in the difference between this game right now.
Here's Agbayani. Mets down by a run. Facing Mariano Rivera. And taking ball 1. Blade Bellinger is in the game in left field. David Justice finished for the rest of the night. One ball, 1 strike. Strike 2. Jay Payton, who homered off Rivera in game 2 next.
came up with that pitch to prevent right-handers from leaning out over the plate. With the count 1-2, he freezes Agbayani on that inside fastball.
The Yankees 2 outs away from a 3-1 series advantage with a matchup of Andy Pettitte and Al Leiter going tomorrow night. Royals, the last team to come back with 3-1 deficit in the World Series. That's on the outside corner to Payton. Tomorrow it's Andy Pettitte against Al Leiter. Neither pitcher figured in the decision back in game 1. 12-inning affair, the 4-hour 51-minute game. Won by the Yankees. 1 ball, 1 strike on Payton. Strike 2.
Shoulder high fastball, and Jay can't lay off of it.
Payton tonight, 2 hits, came in the postseason hitting 184. 5 out of 16 in this World Series. 1-2 from Rivera. 2-2. Matt Franco took over in that double switch when the Mets brought in Benitez, is on deck. That's foul. Similar to the swing that he took in game 2 when he homered the opposite way.
That swing in game 2 was on a fastball down about 6 inches. This one up around the letters. It is so hard to get on top of that Rivera fastball. Ball is on top of you in no time.
Two to Payton. Full count. Three balls, 2 strikes. Tying run at the plate. Payton stays in there. Up and out of the strike zone and up and out of play off to the right. Still 3-2. In the air to left, Bellinger back a few. 2 out. And the last hope for the Mets is Matt Franco, who on July 10th last year here at Shea Stadium delivered against Mariano Rivera. Bottom of the 9th inning to give the Mets a 9-8 win. Alfonso scoring the winning run. That gave the Mets their first ever series win against the Yankees. That was last July. Franco, the tying run at the plate with 2 out, nobody on in the 9th. Ball 1. Next foul. Trying to jerk it out of here. 1 ball, 1 strike.
He was doing and trying to do exactly that.
"16 consecutive postseason save opportunities converted by Mariano Rivera." A 1-1 to Matt Franco. The Yankees are 1 strike away from a 3-1 series advantage. Yankees win game 4. A matchup tonight at the start of Denny Nagel against Bobby Jones. 2 who had struggled in the league championship series. They pitched well enough. Another 1-run affair. That means that of the 4 games of this World Series, the games have been decided by a total of 5 runs.
All 3 Yankee wins have been 1-run victories.
And as it stands, they can clinch their 26th World Championship tomorrow night behind Andy Pettitte. He'll take on Al Leiter in that game at 8 Eastern here on Fox.